welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Nadine from French Girl Gaming and this is cooking for Geeks and Noobs. So today we're going to do one of my favorite winter dish, and it's the Boeuf Bourguignon, which is a beef casserole cooked in red wine and beef stock with a little bit of vegetables like carrots and mushrooms, and it's usually slow cooked or pressure cooked, whichever you have in terms of equipment, of course. And it actually tastes delicious as a winter dish or cool weather day. I usually serve it with rice. Today I'm actually going to do it with mashed potatoes. So to get started, I'm just going to run through what I have in terms of ingredients. I have what we call French shallots, which are like little onions. I've chopped the biggest ones into small pieces, and the small ones of that size I'm leaving them whole. I just peel them. I've also got 250 grams of smoked bacon, which I've cut into about 1 centimeter strips. Then I have about 450 grams worth of beef, which I've cut into cubes about this size. This is what we call gravy beef, which is, I think, a beef cut that comes from the neck, so it's special for slow cooking. So you're going to have to slow cook it, otherwise it's going to be very tough. But that's a very good cut for actually casserole, and that's 450 grams, probably about a couple of pounds worth. Then I have some carrots. I found some cute little carrots that I'm going to leave just peel them and wash them. I'm going to leave them in that size. But you can use no regular carrots and just slice them with about fairly thick slices. I've also got 3 cloves of garlic that I've peeled, and 250 grams of button mushrooms, and I like them little ones like this because I'm not going to cut them or chop them. I'm going to leave them whole as well. So to get started, I have a little bit of olive oil heating up here, and I am just going to brown a little bit the shallots. So that's the bigger shallots are chopped into smaller pieces, and the ones that are whole, and I'm just going to sweat them a little bit for 2-3 minutes, and I'm going to add the bacon after that. We're going to do this in a couple of steps. We're going to do first the bacon and shallots, then we're going to pull everything out, and then we'll do the meat separately. If you can't find fresh French shallots, you can use a yellow onion, brown onion, that's fine. I'm going to add the bacon. Smells nice. Bacon and onions, good mix. When this is cooking, I'm scraping the bottom of the pan as much as possible, because we really want that caramelized stuff to come off. This is almost done now. I'm going to turn that off. You don't necessarily have to do it in the same pot. You could be using a frying pan to do this step separately, depending what kitchen equipment you have. So that's effectively my bacon now and onion mix. Set that aside for a minute. And now what we're going to do is to the meat. So I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. Some recipes use butter. I prefer to really cook with olive oil and butter because butter can go black. Although if you mix it with olive oil or oil in general, it's not so bad. But for this purpose, I don't see the benefit of using butter. Onion. Okay, that's bubbling away. So I'm going to add the meat now. Okay, I think we're good now. We can add the meat. It's going to take a few minutes. We need to seal the meat properly, so we need to let it cook on the outside. I'll just keep an eye on it, stir it once in a while. What I'm doing too is scraping the bottom of the pan to get all these caramelized onion pieces and bacon juices that are at the bottom. The next step we're going to do after that, once it's sealed nicely, is we're going to add the flour. And there's 4 tablespoons of flour there. This is not going to give you a thick gravy like the one we did in the stroganoff or whatever, but because it is still a fairly liquid sauce, but it's just going to thicken things a little bit. This is almost ready. I'm waiting for all the pink bits to disappear effectively. When that happens, I know it's ready. It's almost ready. Still a couple of pink bits here and there. Shouldn't be too long now. So the meat is now sealed all around, there's no pink bits left, so I'm going to put the flour, and I'm using one little flour thing here to spread a nice little sprinkle of flour so there's no clumps anyway. If you don't have one of those, you can use a sieve and just tap it around. So it's 4 tablespoons of flour I'm going to dip in there, and I'm going to stir because we don't want the flour to just pile up in a corner or anything like that. You want to have heavy pieces of meat to get a bit of a coating. Now I'm going to add the beef stock. I warmed up the beef stock a little bit so it wouldn't be totally cold going in here. Add that slowly. Stir. I don't want to have lumps. have now down here is effectively pieces of meat that are cooked and fairly watery gravy, which is fine because this is going to go slow cooking. So now I'm going to put back my onions and bacon mix. Now I'm going to add also the red wine. So I'm using Pinot Noir because that's the same kind of grapes as they would do in Bourgogne, but it's a Chilean wine, it's not French wine. I don't necessarily use very good quality red wine because it's a bit waste in my opinion, but at the same time I don't use the cask wine, the paint strippers type stuff. So I'm using half a litre red wine. Basically my rule of thumb is cook with what you would drink. If you would be prepared to drink it, then it's good enough for cooking with it. Then how much you spend on it is up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it down. Give it a bit of stir, make sure we mix it well. So now we need to add some herbs, and herb wise we will normally of course use traditional bouquet garni, which in my case is going to be a couple of bay leaves which I just washed and I'm going to put in there. I'm leaving them whole because I'll pull them out at the end. And I've also got some washed thyme that I'm just going to put as is, little sticks like that. And I have a little bit of parsley because I do like putting some parsley. I'm going to put all of it. It's probably about 2 tablespoons here, so I'm going to put about just about 1. I'll save the rest for later. I'm just going to crush those cloves of garlic. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic here. All I'm doing is just really squashing them. I'm not chopping them or anything like that. I'm going to throw them in here. Then I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. I'm not going to put any salt yet because the bacon could be salty and I don't know how salty it is, so I'll leave it until later to taste and figure out how much salt I need to add. This is going to slow cook for 3 hours. And then in 3 hours time we'll come back and add the mushrooms and give it a bit more cooking time, check how thick the sauce is, etc. You know, just the seasoning and prepare the mashed potatoes by then. So this is just going to go on slow cook mode. So slow cook on high, give it 3 hours. Roll. And off we go. Alright, thank you. Okay, we're back now in the kitchen. It's been a good 3 and a bit hours, just about 3 hours actually. This has been cooking slowly, so we're going to check what it looks like and add the mushrooms. Right, this is looking good. Okay, so I'm going to fish out the twigs of herbs I've got in here because we got some thyme. Fish that out. I think there was a third one. Found a bay leaf. Get that out. This looks very nice and smells pretty good. So all the alcohol from the wine has evaporated, but it just left a really nice, rich, dark sauce that smells really good. And I think it's fair to say that the meat is essentially cooked. If I just put a piece here. I'm going to use the back of the knife just to prove it's actually quite soft. I'm not cutting the meat, it's actually just already falling apart, so it's actually quite nicely cooked already. After 3 hours slow cooking, it's done a pretty good job. So I'm going to put the mushrooms. And I'm going to cover this back. And we're going to give this another hour and that should be basically ready. In the meantime, what I did was I make some mashed potatoes. I've just got them here keeping warm, and I'll nuke them just before serving, but essentially I just peel some potatoes, cut in 4, added a little bit of water, microwaved them until they were cooked, mashed them and seasoned them. And for the seasoning perspective, I used some cream. I used a little bit of butter. I also used a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. I quite like to do that. Salt and pepper. And I've got quite a nice thick mashed potato here, which I'll reheat before we're ready to serve, but that's pretty good. So we'll be back in an hour and be ready to eat. Okay, we're back. This should be ready now. So let's have a look. Yep, looking pretty good. So while the mashed potato are getting warmed up, what I'm going to do here is I might just reduce it a little bit to thicken up. Position for probably 10 minutes. But essentially it is ready. The meat is really nicely cooked. Mushrooms cooked. So we give it about 2 minutes or so, a little boiling, gentle boiling, and then we'll serve up. Well, we're back and this is ready. So mashed potatoes, nice, warm and fluffy. I'm going to serve that up. Yes, looking good. Now I'm going to check the seasoning here just to make sure, but last time I checked, I think it was pretty good as it was. Yeah, I don't think I need to add, I wouldn't add any salt. I think the stock and the bacon was sufficiently salty, so I'm not going to add any salt. Add a little bit twist of black pepper. So this is a fairly liquid kind of thick gravy that we have here. Best I serve it with mashed potato. You can have a fresh bread, of course, French baguette, very good for that. Rice works pretty well with it too. I'm going to do a little well. And there you have it, Boeuf Bourguignon with mashed potatoes. Have bon appetit and enjoy. Thank you.